I am today. Yeah, I did. With a short straw.
I said, guys, come on, please. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually took some off.
Oh, really?
Last week, there's been stuff about the sleeping, so I took it off.
Oh, okay. It's better than mine.
Oh, that's sweet. Whose sweetie pie is this?
That's fine.
Oh, that's
Sure.
so cute.
All right, come here. I know, we'll go there later. Can we sit down, please? You want to sit over here? Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning. Welcome to today's family service. My name is Dwight Meitzenheimer, and I will be your chairperson today. We will begin this morning's service with San Bujo on pages 24 and 25. Now we will have sutra chanting, Ju Say Gay, on page 93.
시간 후만소 세후 조쇼가 가오 무료고 후이다이 세슈 후사이 쇼민그 세후 조쇼가 가시조 문요 요쇼 조직보 극교미쇼몬 세부조쇼가 비욕진쇼넨 조회슈본조 시그무조도 이쇼켄민시 인리티엔다이고 부쇼무사이도 조조상금요 고사이슈야쿠난 가이지에겐 에시곤모한 에이소쇼아쿠도 쯔라스센슈몬 고소조만소 이요로지코 이시간슈주기 덴고원부겐 이슈카이 호소 오세구동호 조호다이슈주 세포시시구 구요이사이굿 그소쿠슈도구온 간내신조만 도이산가요 요분무게시 쯔란스미푸쇼 간가구에리 도시사이쇼손 시간약고가 다이센노칸도 고구쇼테니 오진요게
Please stand for the Gatha, We Are One, on page 150 in the White Book, and remain standing for the reading of the three treasures on page 8.
switch back to the purple books, page 8. And we'll recite the three treasures together. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, 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 namandab. Please be seated.
Now Reverend Fujimoto will share a Dharma message with us.
Namanda, namanda, namanda. Good morning, everyone. Ohayo gozaimasu. It's a nice surprise to have this many. Usually after a major service, there's like maybe 2 handfuls of people, but we have a few more. And yeah, very nice to see our group today. So I still have reflections on the Obon in my mind, and so different things and stories that I've been thinking about and have come to reflect upon. But please join me in Gassho as we start with this quote. The Buddha's regard for each sentient being with eyes of compassion is equal, as though each one were his only child. Hence I take refuge in and worship the unsurpassed mother of great compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda. So in this quote, it's by Genshin, and Genshin is pointing out that the Buddha's compassion is the same for all people. Okay. If you remember last week's message, talking about the story of Obon, the story of Moggallana, and his mother was not thinking about all people equally, right? So she was sent into a kind of a hellish realm, and so he couldn't find her when he was searching. Where could his mother have ended up after she passed away? So I even pointed out that my mother was here. She didn't care about everybody here. She cared about me, right? And all our mothers are like that. And so when we think about our mothers, they are, although loving, but still self-centered in their world, right? So all the things that we praise a mother for on Mother's Day, these are the exact reasons that Moggallana's mother was sent to a hell. She wasn't caring or concerned about everyone, right? She didn't have compassion for everyone. She's concerned about Moggallana, her son. She wanted him to have a good life. Okay? So there's a distinction between our idea, our notion of compassion, and the Buddha's notion of compassion. So this is what the quote is pointing out. So the Buddha is looking upon us as if each one of us were his only child. So this reminded me of a story of Shoma. Shoma is one of our Myokonin, okay? And Myokonin are illiterate people, so they're not well educated, but they've become very devout Buddhists, very devout Nembutsu followers. So in their life, Shoma was just eking out a living, just making, maybe he was making sandals or something like that and selling them to the villagers, and he would live in this manner, and he would do fixing this and that at the temple. And a lot of our members do this. They find something, uh-oh, we better fix that, and so they fix it, right? So we have different people filling this role, and each temple has someone kind of like that. And Shoma was such a person at his temple. So he would fix this and that, and kind of became known as a handyman, but very devout. He was always be reciting the Nembutsu, Namandab, 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 okay? So in his story, he was working hard one day, and he came to the temple, and he came into the temple, and he's so tired, so tired. So he came over here, and he sat down on the onaijin, right? In fact, he was so tired, he laid down. He laid down on the onaijin. And so members came in, and they were appalled. What are you doing? You can't lay on the altar, right? So they were all getting on his case, right? How could he possibly feel that he's so deserving that he could sit, lay down on the altar setting? So he's laying there, and he sits back up, and he tells them, I am sitting here because Amida is like my parent, and I'm like his silly and only child. I can sit here because he cares about me, right? So Shoma's telling him this, and the others, he tells the others who are complaining about him, oh, you must be, maybe you're a stepchild, right? So he's defending his position that it's okay to lay down quietly, comfortably here on the onaijin, and even though it might look bad to others, he's comfortable there, but more than that, Amida is comfortable to have him there, okay? So this kind of closeness that he has in the presence of Amida Buddha, in the presence of our temples, okay? So this is one of the stories about Shoma, and I really appreciate that story, and I come back to it. There was a small book that was written by some of the ministers from the Southern District. This is a few years ago, and one of the ministers, they all contributed a little Dharma talk story, and one of them was about a dear friend, the minister's very good friend, and he's white Hakujin. His friend was Hakujin, had come from England and had come to become very appreciative of the Nembutsu teachings. So she was very comfortable with the Nembutsu teachings, and before going back on a trip to England, she went to the beach and had spread out her beach blanket, and she's laying there and sits up, and she's looking at the beach scene and looking out into the water, and it seemed like to her the water from the sun is reflecting onto the water, and this beam of light is coming at her, right? So she thought, wow, this feels like this beam of light is directed right at me. And so she's sitting there so appreciative that she could see this. And she felt that this was her connection to the Nembutsu. And so she's reciting, mumbling to herself, Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. She felt so comfortable in that moment. Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. This beam of light from the sun trickling its way right to where she's sitting. Okay, so incredible, amazing. And maybe we have felt this before. Maybe we're at a beach or somewhere, and this light, maybe we're hiking in Yosemite or something, and some kind of beam of light coming right at me, just for me, right? So she's reciting Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. So she's sitting there, taking this all in. And as she's sitting there, she's looking again at the sunlight, and this light is shining, continuing to shine, and she's kind of following the light. And as it comes to the beach, it's shining. And specifically, exactly, to every single person on the light, right? So she's starting to feel even more deeply what this sense of the Nembutsu, even though she felt it's coming right at her, it's coming specifically right at everyone. So she's noticing this, and so in seeing this, the Nembutsu comes to mean even more that she could see this reflection of the sunlight touching everybody on the beach. So to be mindful of Amida's embrace is to be mindful that this light is coming to each one of us, okay? So, yeah, I think looking at times when I've gone hiking or just sitting on the beach, even at the Alameda Beach, I go there often, and looking at the water sparkling, and you come to notice that, right? There's a lot of things to notice. Sometimes, I talk about this often. I go out there to run 3-4 times a week, and sometimes the water is way out there, and the beach looks like 5 or 6 lanes, like a airport runway. It's that wide, right? And other times the water's right up to you, and you could barely stay out of the water. It's right there to your feet. And so this change in that environment changes completely from day to day. And as the sun comes out, I recognize that, and I'm appreciative of all of that. Okay. So when I was thinking about these stories and our Obon service, I talked about last week how many families, they had come here, and a lot of them, they don't come to our service regularly, but I knew them, that they would be coming to the Obon. They had purchased lanterns to honor their family members that they had lost, right? And so they were touched. 3 or 4 families mentioned to me that they were dancing under the lanterns with their family names on them, and it just touched their heart, right? And we can sense this. Maybe we did that ourselves. But yes, last week I was saying that there's more to it than recognizing our own families, but this connection to Amida is a connection to this infinite reality that we are all a part of. And this is what we are calling Amida. So that part of this equation in coming to the temple might be missing, right? It's not there for everyone. Sometimes we miss it. Sometimes we get it. Sometimes we feel it. Sometimes we see and feel this light touching specifically me, right? So I have one more Obon story. A couple weeks ago, Sharman led the service here, led the chanting, and gave a Dharma message, and I was asked to speak at the Mountain View Buddhist Temple for their Obon, Hatsubon service. And it's always nice to see how they do things, how it's the same, how it's different from how we do our services. So you compare and contrast, and you see different things that maybe we can accept, adapt to, and utilize, or maybe other things. So after service, they wanted to take guest speaker, me, out to lunch. So there are like 10 people who they have a plan to go out to lunch. So we're getting ready, just like us. We have a social hour, and because they wanted to hurry up, I couldn't even eat my snacks, right? Come on, Sensei, let's go. So they wanted to take me to this restaurant nearby and have our lunch over there. And during getting ready, one of the members is talking to their sensei, Mukojima Sensei. And he has a daughter who's 16 and a son who's maybe 7, maybe 8. So young family. He's from Japan, so their primary language is Japanese. So the members are asking, how are the kids doing in school? You know, they must be enjoying summer break and all that. And so he wanted to tell them one story about their son. And he wasn't talking to me, but I just happened to be hearing this story. And he says, you know, his wife made spam musubi, right? Spam, rice balls with spam on top of it and the nori on top. And so kind of a specialty, spam musubi. And so he took those for his lunch at school. And so one of the guys at lunch told him, you shouldn't eat that stuff at school. Why don't you go sit over there, right? Kind of like a bully mentality, telling him he doesn't belong with his cultural foods sitting there. You know, so I thought it's going to be a bully story, right? And I thought, oh, that's too bad. You know, little guy, probably half the school is bigger than him, and I know what that feels like, right? So anyway, he Sensei's telling this story, and his son told the bigger guy, no, you should try it. It's really good. And he had him take a bite. And the bully friend agreed. It's really good. So after that, he asks his mom, make extra. And then he comes to lunch and passes them out to the bully and to other friends that are having lunch with him that day or whatever day. So not only circumventing this struggle with the bully, but appreciating his cultural food, his home food, his family. And so I think this was a very nice story to be sharing at their Obon service. So I was kind of happy for him, proud of him, that he could come up quickly and stand up to someone who's putting him down. But it ends up being a very nice story, right? Yeah. So there's one more connected story. I have told this before, but there was a time I just saw a very brief glimpse, and they're interviewing these high school kids in Florida, and these different kids had come to a new school, right? So they're the new kids, and one of the kids came in, and during lunchtime, each of these kids, they didn't know too many people, just like Mukojima Sensei's son, and so they would sit there and kind of eat alone and not talking to too many people. So he felt badly, and he didn't have these kind of friendships, right? So one of them was a Hispanic kid, and his name was Esteban, Dennis Esteban, okay? He's from Haiti, okay? He's very upbeat and popular, very friendly, but he remembers when he came in the first grade, nobody welcomed him, nobody thought too much about him, and they all had their friends already established. And that's kind of what I went through when I changed schools every couple years, as my father would change temples. And so I kind of understood that. And so he would eat alone in the cafeteria. People wouldn't talk to him. And so he was reflecting this as he was being interviewed. There's another young lady, Ali Seal, and she seemed very strong and proud. You could see in her eyes just burning, you know, very proud person. But she was very, very popular. She had lots of friends, but this was at her old school. At his new school, nobody talked to her, nobody knew her, okay? So they kind of ignored her together also. And so these people who were being left out, they kind of started talking together, talking to each other, and said, why don't we have a group? Why don't we sit with each other and we'll talk to each other, okay? And they have a group that's called We Dine Together, right? And so they have this little group, and it kind of grew, and before lunch, they're exhorting each other. We dine together. we dine together, right? So they feel within their group, they have some connection, some kind of power. So they feel this. And so every time they come to the school, they can sit with each other and they encourage each other. Just have some kind of kindness to others. Say hi to other people, right? And this is what we tell our Dharma school. Yeah, don't just sit in your little group, but say hi to the elders. Come to know the elders. We don't know everybody, but we can, right? And so we encourage them to say hello to people that maybe they don't usually talk to, right? So this group saying we dine together, they're kind of talking to other people, and through their initiation, all these different friendships came out. They started to be more comfortable at the school. People came to know them, so they became more comfortable. And so I think that's another example of sharing the light, sharing the teachings, when we are able to recognize that we're not alone. Okay, the lady on the beach sitting there thinking this light is just for me, then noticing it's not only me, it's more than that. And the kids, we dine together, it's not me feeling alone, it's all of us. And Sensei's son, right, he kind of demanded his position, right? No, try it, right? So these kind of stories where we are able to reflect upon these things. As we come to the temple, we think of Shoma, that this is our home, that we feel comfortable here, okay? We are not stepchildren. We are the one and only child of Amida. So in this comfort, we come to recognize our connection to this infinite. And in this connection, we feel more grounded, more stable. Whatever we do in our lives becomes more directed, right? And so through this is how we carry ourselves. This is how we help each other carry each other, right? So maybe the people at the Obon, they were so happy to dance under the lanterns. Maybe it might take an invitation. Why don't you come to service? We have a lot of fun here. There's a lot of good people here. Why don't you come? Yeah, and through that, maybe they will recognize there's more to it than family. There's more to it as we connect to this infinite reality. Okay. So please join me again. I'll read this quote one last time. The Buddha's regard for each sentient being with eyes of compassion is equal, as though each one were his only child. Hence I take refuge in and worship the unsurpassed mother of great compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message. Please stand for the Gatha Nembutsu 1 on page 99 of the White Book. be seated. Thank you to all those who helped with the altar preparations and with service. Reverend Dennis, Darren for the YouTube setup, Jane Nato who did the altar flowers, and anyone who donated special altar offerings or refreshments. Howard. Or if there are any newcomers or visitors, please stand and introduce yourself. Thank you for coming to our service today.
So I'm Kai.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
This is my son Joseph, and this is Lorraine. That's my dad.
It's just that.
Thank
That's
you.
your grandpa.
It is.
Hi.
Okay, I have several announcements. Next Sunday, August 4th, Sosuke Monthly Memorial and Atomic Bomb Memorial Service. ABWA Clothing Drive drop-off dates are next Saturday and Sunday, August 3rd and 4th, and Friday, August 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Sunday, August the 11th, the Bishop's Memorial Service and Birthday Sunday. This service is to acknowledge the lives and efforts of the past bishops of the Buddhist Churches of America. There will be no services on August 18th and 25th, which are the summer break. And on Sunday, September 1st, no service. However, there will be a BCA 125th anniversary service online, and we encourage our members to come to our temple to watch it together. It's from 10 a.m. On Sunday, September 1st, there's an ABWA meeting following the BCA service. And are there any further announcements? We will now begin our Ask Reverend Dennis session.
Just to say a little bit more about the BCA service, we thought it'd be nice to show the service here. So really encouraging everyone to come to the temple to watch the service. And so we'll show it not here, but in the social hall. It's a little bit more comfortable, and you could hang out with each other and have some food and drinks and be a little bit more comfortable. Okay, the service itself is going to be at the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, and the Bay District ministers were put in charge of coordinating this. So we've been working on this for a year and trying to make sure everything goes smoothly. And the few days prior to the September 1st service is our summer ministers study session, the Fuken. So the ministers from all the temples are going to be at the Jodo Shinshu Center. So for this reason, all the ministers are going to participate in this service. Okay, so you'll be able to view this. There'll be a procession coming in with gagaku music and different elements of the service that we're not usually accustomed to. So a very special service to commemorate the 125 years of the Buddhist Churches of America. So special service, and to view this, you could watch it at home. It might be more comfortable, you know, just put a shirt on and you don't need pajama bottoms are okay, right? But if you come here, I think it's supportive and welcoming to everyone else, and you come here and sit together and enjoy this together. So I think hopefully we'll have a good group here, and some of the main people that get things started here, I'm hoping you don't ditch us and you could come set up, provide Howard's fabulous coffee and all these things that we usually enjoy on Sunday, okay? So, yeah, it should be a very special service. So, today we're going to have our second Ask Reverend Dennis is on the calendar, but I'm making a change, okay? We're not doing this today. If you have a question, send it to my email. I'm very uncomfortable. I hurt my leg, so I'm not doing this. So send me your questions. Nobody sent me anything anyway, so you didn't do your job, I'm not doing my job, okay? So we're going to excuse ourselves. Let me relight the incense. Please come up and offer incense, and then we'll go down and visit in the social hall. Thank you.